Hello, hello, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Come on into the live stream or onto the live stream. Come on and start watching the live stream. I am so sorry. I'm a little bit late, but not by much at least. I'm like late by 8 minutes. My bad, guys. My bad. But how is everyone doing? I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, and here I am, Dannphan, here to chit-chat about, whatever's going on, I guess. Let's see. It's still pending for me. Yeah, the Discord server, for those of you who don't know, there's like a verification process before you post. It's supposed to stop botters from just coming on the Discord and spamming, right? So if you go to the rules section and click the green check mark, you should be good to go on the Discord. But yes, hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you've had a pretty good week. We had a pretty good week. Now naturally, I think the main thing that we absolutely need to talk about right away on this live stream, obviously, the weather. The weather. What the is up with the weather? Weather is fucking weird, man. I swear, like 2 days ago, I was wearing shorts, and now it's freezing outside. It was snowing yesterday. What the heck? One day you wear shorts, the next day it's snowing. Insane. Insane weather. This winter in general has just been pretty crazy. It's been a crazy winter. So much snow, but honestly I kind of love it. I do love the snow. I definitely want to live in a very snowy, mountainy area. That's my thing. Everyone has their own thing, their own type of environment that they dream about living in. That's my thing. I want the snowy mountains. I want them. It's fantastic. But yeah, for sure. Now we got talking about the weather out of the way though, but it has been really, really weird weather. The way that we got that heat wave, and I thought, oh, okay, it's March. It's officially March. Now we're getting warm weather again. No, it's immediately freezing. Next thing I know. Fucking crazy. But yeah, there we go. Do you have pink skies? No. I mean, I guess pink sunsets is a thing, right? But Monday and Tuesday were a heat wave, then it got colder as the week went on. Yeah. Fool's spring. Yeah, I heard somebody use that term a little while back. I guess so. I guess it was Fool's spring. I fell for it. I was the fool. But that's alright. In other news, right, the campaign books are in production. Very exciting. I hope they get here soon. I don't like waiting for books. In the meantime, I still have to order the t-shirts. There are still some people who have not gotten back to me. A couple people who haven't answered the Kickstarter survey yet. Now I'm starting to just email people, at least the ones who ordered the t-shirts, I'm emailing on Kickstarter to get their backer information. I don't like that Kickstarter has this weird kind of system where after they've already backed, you have to get their information on where to ship the items like way later. I get it. I understand why it's like that, because they expect people on Kickstarter to take a really long time to actually fulfill their campaign, and information could change within that time. But still. Yeah. Any advice for beginning comic book creators on seeing a project through to the end? How do you prevent burnout while working on a comic project? It's a decent question. I think I usually plan a very solid outline first, so I can always see where the end is. I think a lot of people who for example, I usually have the drafts done first before I even like announce that I'm going to be doing a comic, because I want to make sure that the story is kind of at least 90% figured out before I start finalizing everything. And I think a lot of people who are just writing and drawing it page by page by page, and they don't really see where the end goal even is, they don't really know where they're going with it, I think that's a really easy way to get burnout immediately. At least when you have a workable outline, you can always see the next goal, you know, a goalpost bit by bit, chapter by chapter, etc. But I think that's like an easy way. And also like start small. There's no need to start really big right away. That's another mistake I think a lot of people make, is they bite off more than they can chew, especially with their first project. Do something achievable, do something small, like a one-shot. I've done a bunch of one-shots, and I'm still like completely open to doing more one-shots while I'm working on my series. So they are solid ways of just getting your story out there. But yeah, for sure. Anyways, going back to the campaign, if you have ordered a perk with the t-shirts, please make sure that I have that information. There's just one person in my comic who hasn't gotten back to me. I emailed them, but, you know. Everyone else on Fun My Comic has gotten back to me, and most of the people who've gotten t-shirts on the Kickstarter have gotten back to me. There's still like maybe 10 people on the Kickstarter besides that who just, you know, not really hearing a lot from. But I do need to get that taken care of. At the very least, get the t-shirts ordered, because they're going to take a while to get in the mail. And I prefer to like have them both ordered at the same time as the books being in production. I'm also not really 100% sure when the books will get here. They like estimated like a week since beginning production, at least allow up to a week, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, I've heard about this one. There's a sequel to Galaxy Star coming out this year. Yeah, I did hear that. Right now, the video next, I believe, is going to be my reviewing manga by YouTubers video. And I think that'll be a really good one. At least I will find it interesting, even if maybe you don't. Maybe it's a little bit self-indulgent. That's fine. I had a bit of trouble like picking the manga because there's a lot, and some of them are a lot more obscure than others. But I think I've settled on doing just like the most recognizable manga by popular YouTubers out there. And I think if I hit those first, maybe people will be more interested in the video, or, you know, because if you've heard of the manga, then maybe you'll be like, oh, I was wondering if that was good, and I can kind of give you my short take. Obviously, it will be like fairly short reviews per book, because I want to get through at least 3 of them for the video. But yeah, I've read 2 so far, and I'm about to get through the 3rd one, so it shouldn't be too long until I'm like ready to start putting that video together. I'm a little bit surprised, because the first 2 that I've read so far, I can already see the issues with them. I can already see why people aren't praising them as much, because, you know, there is some, I don't want to use the word like copycat-y, but there is some maybe copy-pasty, you know, plagiarism type. No, okay, maybe not. See, it's very like obvious where the root of inspiration is for certain scenes. And I think that distracts a lot of readers when they're reading a scene and it looks exactly like another scene from a popular manga, or there's like a concept in there and it's almost exactly like another concept from another manga that's, you know, way more popular, etc., etc. A lot of these manga by YouTubers, I think an ongoing critique of them is that their work is just too generic, or it's a ripoff of, you know, whatever other manga series. And I think people who do want to pursue indie comics and indie manga, both fields, I think you really need to be careful about not making it a shot-for-shot remake of something, especially something that's way more popular than your work, way more beloved than your work. You don't want to be compared to that, you know? It's just, that's too much. So it's better that you don't, you just try to make it different. It's okay to take some inspiration from other manga. Of course you're going to take some inspiration from, you know, other manga and other comics that you like, but you just gotta be careful not to mimic it too much to the point where it's noticeable, I guess. Let's see, were you able to add some character design sheets at the end of the comic? Well, I did character profiles for the two mains, at least, in book 2, so those will be at the end of the comic. They're not turnarounds though, they're just like a full body shot of the character and then like basically stats next to them, but I think they're nice. You don't have an assistant, do you? No, I wish. I think part of the reason why manga is able to get their work done so quickly and so efficiently is they have like this, I mean, it really is kind of like a conveyor belt of how they're doing the work, and it's able to get done so quickly because of that, and the quality is like really, really good, really well polished. But I don't have an assistant on board personally. I think most of the people that I know that are doing manga or doing indie comics in general, most of them are more interested in doing their own story or their own project, and, you know, less interested in working with someone on something. Obviously there are writer and artist teams that collaborate together, but not so much, like, not as many people who just want to be like an assistant on something or anything like that. And I also think if you're trying to advertise yourself as a possible manga assistant, you want to be working for someone who is really, really, really talented, you know? You don't want the opposite to be true, because you want to be learning from the work that you're assisting with. So it's difficult, but I did have an idea for a one-shot that I might just hire somebody else to, like, ink over my drafts, like hire an inker to help get it done. And I guess in a way that's kind of like an assistant, but they would be definitely doing a lot of the hard work for me. Man, tell me about it. Running a whole marketing campaign is challenging. I've done that a couple times. Every single one successful, but I was roasted after every single one too. Definitely very challenging for sure. It takes up so much of your time. That's the thing. And especially when I'm trying to do the YouTube videos, as well as like practicing drawing and getting better at that, and doing comics and other side projects. Whew, that's a lot. Let me see. Howdy, Dannphan. How are you after the ordeal with Coffee Cup that's not to be named? I'm fine. I did see that he posted some other video after I posted mine. I didn't watch it. It's another one of those like hour-long rant videos, and based on the video that he did in response to Young Wavy's video, I would say that I would expect most of the same thing, you know? I would just expect for him to be not really talking about the issue at all and just trash talking the whole time. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't have anything really to say, what's the point in watching? Also, it takes him an hour to say nothing. Hey, I got my video done in 16 minutes. and I said pretty much everything. But, I mean, I could have made it longer. I certainly had a lot more clips of him that were very goofy. He said a lot of, very silly things in his ranting video. So, silly and very confusing and schizo-y things. But, you know, concise. I gave you, like, maybe the gold highlights. Let me see. If you were to get an assistant, what would you have them do? Backgrounds? Oh man, if I could get a good assistant to do my backgrounds for me, that would be sick. That would be awesome. Yeah, you know, honestly, I would still probably, like, at least give them a rough sketch of what I want the background to look like. I don't actually completely hate doing backgrounds. The issue is I'm just, like, inexperienced with it, right? I like imagining the background and, like, putting the bones together for, like, kind of what I'm going for the background. It's not like I'm completely in pain the whole time. It's just, it's difficult to really care about your work and to not have the experience or the skills yet to completely capitalize on what is in your head versus what you're making on the page, you know? That's the only, like, difficult thing. It's not that I don't want to learn backgrounds. I still want to learn everything I can. But the difficult thing is, I guess, just not being able to completely deliver on what you want. But backgrounds would be a pretty easy option, honestly, because they do take probably the most time. Sometimes not. Sometimes, you know, a lot of panels just don't have any backgrounds or have very simple backgrounds. But yeah, backgrounds, or maybe tones, you know, all the tone work. That's, like, very simple work, though. But if I knew someone who, like, did it very well and could do it very fast, even zooming. Just absolutely zooming. But, yeah. Some people just like to hate farm. It seems like it. It seems like that can summarize a lot of certain people. He's a real drama farmer. Yeah, I guess so. I see. Difficult to get a band together. You have to hire assistants rather than looking for collaborative work. Yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of people say the bigger the team, the more you risk, like, not being able to work together well, because the more minds you, like, put on one project, the more conflicting viewpoints you're also putting on that project. If you're all on the same page with what you're trying to accomplish, then absolutely you can create masterpieces. But if you're all, like, not so much on the same page, if you're all over the place, then you're gonna see that kind of in the work where it's going in all kinds of different directions. Let's see, I need to do backgrounds more often myself. My next drawing will be set in a haunted junkyard. Oh, that sounds fun. I'll also experiment with using dark colors. Yeah, you know, what do they call it? Doing, like, practices of just black and white is, like, a really good way to practice with making sure, like, you can do dark colors without making the whole thing, like, I guess, pure black or pure gray. But yeah. Yeah, all he did was trash talk, you missed nothing. That sounds about right. He doesn't really know that much about my channel in the first place. And maybe he thinks that he fooled me when he invited me on, but no. You could tell, like, even with the even when I first spoke to him and we did that first interview, that he was not super familiar with my channel. He like just scrolled through like whatever videos I had uploaded recently and was like reading out the titles or looking at the thumbnails and like trying to guess what the video was about, and I was like, okay, well oh, but you wanted to come on my channel. It's whatever. It's whatever, man. When you're laying out your comic pages, how important is it to get the word balloons in the right place from the start? Or do wait into the end to worry about it and just covering the artwork? Usually when I'm doing the drafts, like just the rough sketches, I'll also like just type in, I guess, dummy word balloons. Like I'll type in a general idea of what I want the text to say, even if it's not finalized, just like generic, this is kinda what I'm going for this word bubble. And just so long as the text is there, it gives me the opportunity to like kinda measure it out and see what I'm sort of working with. Obviously, things tend to change when you're actually finalizing the pages, but ability to like move the art around and move the word balloon around, but you know. I usually start off with a general plan, but it doesn't stay the same throughout the whole process. Everything kind of changes through the process. But you know. Yeah, good advice, start small. Yeah. I think a lot of people I see just kind of jump into it head first, and doesn't usually work out for them. So, I mean, that's also part of the reason why I see so much burnout. So many people come into the comic space, right? And then leave. they like come in for like a year or two and then leave because it's too much for them all at once. But if you're just starting small, if you start and have achievable goals right away, you won't have to worry about all of that. That's my perspective on the matter anyway. Obviously, if you intend to make it a full-time career, then you gotta like inch up and up and up, even if it's just a little couple inches, you know, you gotta be aiming towards a goal and aiming to do more and more as you go on. But when you're just starting out, don't even worry about it. When you're just starting out, focus on something just achievable enough for you. That's what I say. But yeah, I mean, like, that is kind of in essence what I've done. I started off by just doing one-shots. Eventually, I put together a website where I could put up all of the one-shots so that people could still buy them even after the campaigns were done. And now I'm working on the series. I'm still, like, occasionally working out another one-shot to just, you know, keep some variety out there. But because, like, the first book of Reaper, for example, was so long, I had to kind of build up to it. I wasn't ready to do a project like Reaper until more recently. And even, like, Book 2 is much longer than this. It's like double the length of this, and this is already, like, pretty long, you know? So it is better to start small and realize what you can achieve and build up that confidence, build up that experience before you just jump in and start going at it, you know? Because even doing Book 2, this was a challenge for me. Because it was so long, because it was so much, and I was doing so much all at once, it was really a challenge to get Book 2 done. But now it is done. Whoa, yes, it's done. And I'm just waiting for the books. It's also my first time ever introducing the t-shirts as part of the campaign. But I feel pretty confident about the company I went to for getting the t-shirts done. We bought a few, like, other t-shirts from them before doing the campaign, so we know that their quality is very good. So the price is pretty decent also. So I think I could, in theory, do more t-shirts, but I don't know if I would sell t-shirts directly on my website, because if you want to do that, then you kind of have to keep a stock of them to make it all, you know, order in bulk to make it all worth it so you can get that price tag down. And I don't really know if it's that worth it, you know, because I don't see that many people super interested in them. Not as interested as I am anyways. I love getting t-shirts as part of a crowdfunding campaign. I love it. I love having, like, the cool art on me to wear, you know? I also love the posters, of course. Maybe not as many people like the posters as much as I do, but as you can see, like, I do love displaying artwork on the wall. Very, very fun. But, you know, I think different people have different things that they like to, different types of rewards that they like to get from the campaign. And for me, I like the t-shirts and I like the posters, and that's a very personal preference thing. Some people, they like the buttons, actually, or they like the trading cards, right? Trading cards are, like, kind of cheap, but I don't know if as many people are as interested in the trading cards. I'm not sure. But, you know, my main point is everyone likes something a little different. So, I'd like to please as many people as possible, but can't always please everybody. It is just kind of one of those things. Let me see. What's your next project? Sonic City Witch sequel or something new? Well, I'm mostly continuing the Reaper series, but we are talking about a sequel, not for Sonic City Witch, but for another project. And a brand new one-shot I've been seeing if I can make work. I have a general outline, but I haven't done the drafts yet. And like I said, I don't want to announce anything until I've, at the bare minimum, gotten done the drafts. Because so long as a workable draft of the comic isn't done, it basically can't exist, you know? I don't want to be that person who just, like, makes stuff up on the spot and doesn't have a plan put forward. Because that leads to some bad things later on down the line, of course. But yeah, so mostly those two things are kind of up in the air because neither really have workable drafts done for them yet. Right now, I'm just kind of working on concept art more than anything. Concept art for Reaper Book 3, as well as the other new projects. And I have another collaborative project that is probably going to be coming to the summer. Some of you might be into it, some of you might not be, but I think it'll be super cool. And if I were you, I would like it, so maybe that's enough. Let me see. I became familiar with Dannphan around the same time as coffee. YouTube suggestions around quarantine, which is funny considering the algo. But I am the supporter of the underdogs. Well, appreciated. The t-shirts will vary for me. I kind of see that. Yeah. You want it to be a very cool design on the t-shirt, of course. For sure. Let me see. What if you can do an original English light novel? Does that usually turns into a manga far down the line if it was released episodically? Well, I'm not nearly as much into light novels. Granted, I have read some, right? Into doing them as much as nearly I am with comics. I really like the visual medium of a comic book more than anything, but you know, I understand like how they become so popular for sure. The light novels, especially the lit RPG ones, those are extremely popular. And honestly, I think it's the only thing keeping the isekai genre alive for so long, is all these fans of lit RPGs. Yeah. Yeah. I understand the appeal of doing the light novels, though, because it's something that you can do, and takes less time than drawing everything. So maybe you could get them out like very quickly and maybe develop an audience very quickly. But it's not necessarily my passion. So I don't want to be going in a direction that isn't going to make me wind up at the spot that I actually want to be, you know? And who knows if I'm as good at writing a light novel as I am at doing the comics that I've already been doing, you know? Kind of, they're adjacent skills, but they're a little bit different with how you're supposed to do the story. Yes, I like enamel pins, but the startup costs for those are expensive. Yeah, they are. I looked into it once. I was shocked. I was shocked at how expensive they are, because I don't really see people selling them at like a very high price tag, so I just assumed, oh yeah, maybe it's fine. I was really surprised. Oh my goodness. But I guess some people like try to make them at home also. Like they have laser cutters and stuff, and too much. It's a little bit too much for me. But obviously I also like to do some of the more unique kind of perks for my campaigns, and I've been kind of experimenting with little unique type of projects that I can do from home to sell on the campaigns. You know, something that you wouldn't be able to get at a big business or at a store, obviously. I guess like a good example would be like the sit hearths that we had for the last campaign. These were made with the 3D printer that we have at home. We hired a 3D model to model the Sid hearth and printed him out, and he looks great. And this was actually the Ichabod busts, which were limited, of course, because they are very delicate, and they were homemade, actually, by a fan who sent them to me to put up on the campaign. Isn't that awesome? But yeah, oh my god. They are very delicate, though. I feel bad. If yours broke, I'm sorry, but I cannot replace it. They are very unique, and I believe they made their own mold and then like used resin to make multiple of them. And they sent us the mold too, I believe, if we ever wanted to make more. But oh man, that's a lot of pressure. It's to make more of those Ichabod busts. They painted them too. That's a lot of work. Salute to you, my dude. Did a great job. But yeah, that's an example of something like unique. And obviously, like for the Horizon Quest campaign, we did the Vera standees in the giant helmet. That was so cool. I'm glad that people found that as like entertaining as we found it, because it is a little bit gimmicky. But if you got the comic, then you know, if you know, you know. And that's what makes it more exciting when you get like a very special campaign tier like that. And for the recent one, we did the soul vials, which are also like homemade. That one was kind of an interesting little experiment. It's my first time personally working with resin. We just like took the vials, obviously, filled a little bit with resin and put in like actual like glow-in-the-dark blue paint to make that look like a soul. And because it's, in hardening resin, it actually does look like it's a soul floating inside the vial. And it glows in the dark. Cool! But yeah, this is what I'm talking about with like making the campaigns just a little bit more special. This is something that we should be trying to do, Innovate, guys. I should have been an Imagineer. But yeah, that's all kinds of stuff that I get very excited about. I have another idea of how I can make the third campaign super exciting too. But it's probably the most expensive thing out of everything that I've done so far. It's not really a homemade type of campaign perk. So not 100% sure if I'm gonna go through with that one, but I have an idea. I do have an idea. And I'm pretty excited for that next campaign when we get here. But first things first, I gotta get the books to you the backers. Absolutely. The Horizon Quest stickers are pretty nice too. I got it for my friend's birthday and the comic. Nice. I'm glad that you like those. Those are homemade. The stickers are homemade. Although I could also get them from a place if I needed to get a real bulk amount of like stickers done. I would go to a place, but I'm kind of fine with like just tiny limited website merch up on the site to sell. I think that's fine, you know. Morning, Dan. Gosh, this might be my first time catching you live in over a year. Well, welcome back. You are more than hang out in the Dannphan stream. Where can I read your comic, Reaper? It is available up on burningstarcomics.net. There's actually a link in the description right after the Read Our Comics. The comic is available right there on that website, along with a bunch of other comics if you want to browse around. Whew. Have any favorite manga and indie comics? A bunch of favorites. Honestly, trust me, I know, it is a big coin flip when you decide to take a chance on something indie, but when you really find something good, it just hits that sweet spot, right? So, indie manga I've been enjoying so far. I think maybe a top contender is Here Eighth. That is available on Manga Plus. It's also available on, their Patreon, amongst a lot of other websites. They put it on Tapas, they put it on Webtoon, they put it on Global Comics, getting a nice spread, as they say. But they did hit their audience that they were looking for, and it's very good. It's very good right off the bat. Dark fantasy, right? So maybe it's just scratching that itch that I have for more fantasy content. It depends what kind of stuff you're into. Maybe a lighter fantasy, Final Falsehood, is pretty good. I've been reading it as it comes out on X. So that's available to read also, if you're interested in looking into that. Obviously, Young Wavy, how could I not mention his? He's also been on the channel. Holy Ark, he just got the first volume out of that. Pretty interesting so far, but once again, more so in adult area, so not recommended for the children here. But if you're into something a little horror-esque, sci-fi-esque, that is certainly your thing. Indie comics, if we're taking a step outside of the manga field, George Alexopoulos' Mary Sue. I also had him on recently, so maybe this is why I'm thinking of all these people because I had them on recently, so they're the first names coming to my mind. But it is very good. When it first came out, before he blew up online, I did really like Mary Sue. I think he did a fantastic job with it. And yeah, there are some other, if you're into superhero comics, a lot of them, there's the complaint that maybe they seem a little bit samey, right? And there are a lot of indie options when it comes to superhero comics, and they have more difficulty standing out. So I don't normally back them, or I don't normally when I'm looking for like indie comics to buy, I'm not normally looking in the superhero indie comics section. But Relentlessly Bullied Hero is not that bad. And I have been reading Vaughn's Phenomenova, also not that bad, you know. I think it's really difficult to just like try to stand out amongst the crowd. But out of everything I've read, like, they're pretty solid. They're okay. Yeah, I've seen someone build a table with a forest complete with a river inside a resin cast. Those are... Resin is a very shady substance, let me just say that. Very shady. Because it's so poisonous. but you can make really pretty art with it. You know? But it's very poisonous. You know, you ever see those like cutting boards that they also like make these really pretty resin designs with? You don't want to cut that resin. You don't want to cut that resin. You don't want that anywhere in your food. Just be very wary of those. Now they don't say cutting boards. They're saying like charcuterie boards, because they're saying, oh, you put stuff on it, don't cut. Do not cut board. Do not let the poison out, please. But yeah, for sure. Is there any other indie manga series you intend on making a review for? I got a couple. I mean, some of the ones that I just named, of course. But the video that I'm working on next is actually going to be like specifically geared towards manga made by YouTubers. So if you're interested in something like that, look out for that video next. I got a bunch of other comics that I gotta do read-throughs for. I already promised I would. Do read-throughs for them, so gotta do it, guys. But yeah, there's a couple indie series that I gotta get out soon. I think I'll probably get those out fairly quickly. Part of me is wondering, like, should I wait for more chapters of Hiraeth before I do a review of it? But at the same time, I'm like, oh no, does that make me a filthy binge reader? We had this whole conversation about how binge readers might be killing series that are just starting out because they won't read it until it has like a bunch of chapters ready for them to binge read. But if you're not reading it when it first comes out, there's a higher chance of it getting canceled or not going very far because they think that they don't have a reader base. And that's a problem. But I understand, because I also like to read a bunch of chapters at once, especially with a lot of these series out there where a chapter, a bunch of pages, but nothing happens, you know? I hate those, especially webtoons. Fuck webtoons. Fuck webtoons, man. They created the trend of binge readers. They created this problem. I'm completely convinced. Webtoons and One Piece maybe created this problem of the binge readers, but yeah. It's kind of interesting to look at that and be like, okay, well, binge reading, I understand why it exists. I understand why we have this urge to read a bunch of chapters at once. But oh my god. It can literally kill a creator's success by just waiting around. Like someone commented on a Hiraeth post and was like, yeah, we gotta let this cook for 3 years before I can read it. Like 3 years before you're gonna start reading this? Yeah, see you in 3 years. That would drive me insane. Oh my god. But yeah. To reading comments now. Maybe I went on a little tangent there. Let's see. Haven't read any manga, but I'm getting into superhero comic books, so I can be inspired to create my own superhero. Well, that's nice. Oh yeah, Common America. That's a good point. You know, I read the first issue of Common America, and then I bought like the omnibuses because I was like, I'm gonna binge read these. I'm a filthy, filthy binge reader. And I didn't do it. The books are still on that desk and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it. I'm horrible. I am scum. But I read the first issue, the very, very first issue of Common America, and that was very good. It was very solid. I liked it. Liked it a lot. So, like, nice, you know? Get Bullet Boy. Been a year, but your review of Red Valkyrie was very helpful. I'm glad. I'm glad you got some help out of that, you know? I'm somewhat worried about, like, how I do the thumbnails for some of my reviews, because I think, you know, like, I want people to watch the reviews, right? No matter if it's a good or bad review, I want people to watch it, because I want to make sure that the people who are like having me do the review for them, they get a lot of eyes on their stuff. But sometimes I'm not 100% sure how to do it. You know, like sometimes I feel like maybe I go for something more sensationalist when I do the thumbnail and the title, and maybe that I don't know if it offends the person who has the review, or who wants me to do the review for them, but sometimes that's the way you get people to click on it, you know? Sometimes it's really difficult to not, it's difficult to get people to click on your videos when you're not like being a little sensationalist about it. I guess that's kind of the rules of YouTube in general, but yeah. First time watching your video, saw the one on coffee from yesterday. My goal is to self-publisher my manga. Well, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I struggle with this. I have a 90-page chapter, and I struggle between posting things a page at a time or all at once. Well, apparently people like it all at once, but I don't know. I guess Webtoon practically is a page at a time, isn't it? Like every chapter update, it's basically just one page rather than really one chapter. Yeah, you might as well just like post them, post it all at once, but post it as though each page is a different chapter. Just like have it all like separated as though they're different chapters, but they're not actually. They're just pages. Maybe that's the big brain gaining the system. Life is too short for filler arcs. Absolutely. Oh my god, the One Piece filler arcs are brutal. I hardly binge things. It's just me. I'm causing the problem. Me and Webtoon readers, we're all causing the issues. Oh no. Gotta go see what's up with Webtoons. Haven't been on in years. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Webtoons. I scarcely hear about any new bangers coming from Webtoons. It's kind of just the same properties over and over again that I hear about on Webtoon, you know? Volume of this stream is a bit low? Oh, is it? I usually keep the volume at the same for all of my streams. I don't know, guys. You got issues with the audio? Yeah, you know, I have this one thing checked off where it's like automatically adjust mic volume. That could be part of it. Maybe it's just adjusting it to be like super low because I'm peaking or something. not 100% sure. But there's a lot of really funny settings on StreamYard. Let's see. Dan, have you heard of Radical Comics, Lume Bento, and Fifi Mangaka? You know, I heard of that name, Lume Bento, recently from somebody. But otherwise, no. I should look into them, I guess. You know, I am kind of at mercy of the algorithm because I constantly look for different like mangaka on YouTube and other like manga projects out there, but something about the YouTube space and even Twitter really is just like really isolating a lot of the time. I never really find what I'm looking for. I always just kind of find the same thing over and over and over again. They're just constantly recommending me the same stuff over and over and over again. I am completely at mercy to the algorithm. They won't recommend me new content. It's sad. Very sad. But yeah, I should definitely look into more people in the manga space for sure. But yeah. Isn't life full of filler? I guess so. Hey, but we're looking for some escapism. We gotta escape the filler to read or watch something exciting for once. That's how I see it. The audio is fine. I have headphones to tell. Yeah, I don't know. Well, personally, I hate that. I avoid videos that have overly sensational or clickbait style titles. Yeah, you know, I've tried to be like, I think some people take it too far for sure, but sometimes you need to at least pretend you're a little interesting. I think maybe I think of myself as not being that interesting. So I kind of have to fake it a little bit and be like, well, I'm like super interesting. Look at me over here. Please click on my video. I don't know. But there are definitely some people that take it way too far. Honestly, not to throw him under the bus, no beef or anything, but Chibi Reviews videos, they are really clickbaity. Some of them do actually kind of take it too far, and I get a little bit annoyed. I get a little bit peeved, like, ugh, I don't want to see this on my homepage or whatever. But yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit over the top. There's also like, you ever get video recommendations for The Quartering? I don't know if he changed his style over time, but his thumbnails, just really ugly. Just really ugly thumbnails all the time. And I'm like, ugh, no, stop. I don't want to see that. You know, but I get it. I do get that you're trying to hype up your video as being like, whoa, click on this. This is crazy. There's no way you can miss this. This is insane. Ugh, you know? But sometimes it's too much. I try to keep it fairly balanced by like being, oh, this is mildly interesting. Maybe click on this video if you're a little interested in this going on over here. But maybe I'm missing something, you know? Maybe I'm missing that piece. Maybe I need to go super over the top. Maybe that's what I need. I need super over the top clickbaity videos. Then boom, success. 'Cause that is kinda like how YouTube operates sometimes. Yeah, he also goonifies the subject of the video. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's changed his thumbnails or anything, but let's see. Bunch of messages at once. But yeah, we are getting to close to, at least, the end of the stream. So let me, I guess, recap the status on the campaign, and then I'll take whatever messages or whatever questions you have left for me before I need to go. So, brief rundown. Books are in production. I'm messaging some people to confirm their t-shirt size, and then I'm gonna order the t-shirts as soon as possible. And on the YouTube side of things, I'm working on my newest video, which is gonna be like a bit of a longer video, covering manga by YouTubers. At least three of them. Maybe I'll do more in the future, because there are other people out there that maybe I'm not covering my video, maybe you would be interested in me covering. You know, who knows? But yeah, I'm mostly focused on finishing the Reaper comic campaign right now, doing some light artwork, doing some concept art on the side. We've got to get back into doing some more art studies, because those are very important for improving. Absolutely underrated by far. But yeah. And then on the drama side of things, yes, Coffee's still raging over there. That's fine. He's definitely the type of person who, like, wants to say time out and then punch, and then, like, no, seriously, time out, punch. No, seriously, time out, I'm done. I'm not gonna carry this on back and forth anymore. Right? Yeah, one of those people. You should maybe check out Shrine Comics. Coffee made a video on them once. Also, how's your comics campaign going? Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well so far, anyway. Well, the campaign is already done. Really, right now, I'm just working on fulfilling the campaign. So the people who already backed to get the comics, now I'm printing the comics and printing all the perks, and gonna be, you know, boxing everything up and sending it to all of you cool people who backed. But if you did miss the campaign, don't even worry about it, because everything that's left over afterwards is going to be on the website, which is in the description, always in the description, burningstarcomics.net. Yeah. So when I'm done fulfilling everything for all the backers who essentially put in their pre-orders, everything afterwards is going to be right there on the website. So if you missed it, you're not really missing it, because you still have a chance to get the book before it's all sold out, right? But yeah, I am hoping maybe I'll have a few copies available to bring to the next conventions that I'm going to, because I am also going on a couple, like, at least 2 for this year, but probably more like 3, because we're probably going to go to BaseCon again. But coming up soon is Garden State Anime Fest, and that's next month. So if you're in the neighborhood, feel free to come by, stop by the table, say hi. And then afterwards, more so towards the summer, it's going to be Garden State Comic Fest. And that's going to be the bigger one. That's the big boy, right? So expecting that to also be very fun. And yeah. If you are interested in hunting us down, come on by. Everyone's a friend. We're going to be selling whatever comics we have, whatever art or posters we got, you know. Maybe some new things, maybe some new original art. I gotta make the original art, but you know, I'll have something. I'll have something for you, I'm sure. Other than that, thank you. Thank you for hanging out, saying hi, offering your support. I appreciate you. You're all wonderful. I have the best fans. Coffee is wrong. Coffee is wrong about you. You're the best fans. The greatest fans. Most Giga Chad based fans. He jelly. He is. He jelly. He hardcore jelly. What can I say? But thank you guys for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next stream. I hope you watch the next video that I'm preparing. I think it'll be a good one. So, see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.